I'm gonna have to go and sail another ocean, and that's why I'm here. I'm headed down there where the Panama Canal starts and comes out of the city of Panama in the Pacific. I was having a think earlier on about how I lived in the West Country. It was my home in England, and Sir Francis Drake was from the same place. He was from a family that was well known in Plymouth back, what, 300 years ago, and he sailed the same place, but he was raping and pillaging as he went and stealing gold off the Spaniards. He wouldn't recognize this place now. I think it was down in Portobello. As I said, he actually died, and he was buried somewhere out here in a lead coffin. But I wonder what he would think if he saw this now. This is gold of a different type. The Panamanians must make a fortune off the canal. Good for them. You know, it's a great service. The American continent. I mean, if you take away the political borders of the countries, it's just a landmass that stretches from pretty much the North Pole right down almost to the South Pole in the Antarctic, and you can't. It's a big barrier, and here it's the thinnest point, and they cut a channel through it, and hey presto, you're in the Pacific. So I think that's what I might be doing. I mean, the thing is, I'm running out of the Atlantic Ocean. I've got 1 mile of Atlantic Ocean left, and then it's run out. So what do I do then? Getting a tad blowy now. Just had the Panamanian Navy, I guess, a patrol boat come past. I have to cross the ship channel where they come out very fast. A big container ship just came straight out, popped like a cork out of a bottle. They're coming so fast out of here. Or really what it is I'm so slow. But basically I have to cross because the fairways and harbour entrances and that sort of thing, internationally you drive on the right. So it's just like a car in Europe or the States. So I have to cross the entrance to get on the correct side to enter. I could sneak in on the left, but then if something goes awry, I'm in the wrong. So I've got to keep an eye out. I can see the ships coming, and one, as I said, just popped out. So I can sneak in now quickly. I'm going to check there's nothing behind me as well. I think that's my friends catching up with me behind. They're doing damn well. This is a historical moment for me and Shaddy. Nearly in. Nearly there. Nearly inside the Port of Colon. Woo! Those guys better keep clear. Thought that was my friends behind, but I don't think it is, and they're going to cut me off. Have to give me water. There's a guy sailing behind me. He's got the wind and he's really moving. I'm actually now just entering the Port of Colon. I have run out of Atlantic Ocean. I have sailed the Caribbean from England, and I've been to the Dutch ABCs. I've done South and Central America, or parts of it. And I'm heading west, and I cannot go any further than this. This is the end of the Atlantic. So I'm going to have to go and sail another ocean, and that's why I'm here. I'm headed down there where the Panama Canal starts and comes out of the city of Panama in the Pacific.
It was with relief I finally got to drop the anchor. The anchorage was known as the Flats and was rather rough because of the wake of passing ships. After spending a sleepless night at a rough anchorage, I awoke the next day to a busy port.
I'm glad he's turned, because he was heading straight for me a few seconds ago. Think he's the brother of this one that's already here. Welcome to the Flats. This is an anchorage at Colon, just outside of the area of the Panama Canal, which is just right back there. I'm going to be going through it if all goes well. I've done my paperwork online, or some of it at least. The next thing to happen is I'm going to sit in this rather uncomfortable, gloomy anchorage and wait for people to come to the boat and do an ad measure. They measure the boat, take the statistics down, inspect the boat, and I fill out a wad more paperwork. And then there's a few more steps like getting money. Everything has to be paid for in cash. It's ridiculous. This is probably the only country, and I've been to many countries now on this boat and otherwise, and I've never come across government institutions who'll only take cash anywhere else in the world. This is ridiculous. But anyway, that's another story. It's a bit horrible here. Very, very gloomy, very, very windy. It's not too bad now. Last night, well, yesterday evening rather, when I came in here, we were bouncing. We were really bouncing. It was a horrible night. Got some friends over there, also English, and made friends with them over the last few marina stops. They're with me. Ships going into the Panama Canal from the sea or the anchorage pass straight past the bow of Shadi, and also the ones that are coming out from the Panama Canal going the other way do the same thing. The result is a lot of swell. It's also very deep here. I have all the chain out bar about 6 or 7 feet, a couple of meters. It's all in the sea. Could these be the guys I'm waiting for? I don't know. We'll find out in a minute. Well, they've just gone straight past me and it looks like they're gonna visit my friends over there. Not entirely sure the procedure here. Oh, there's a couple more of those boats coming down now. If they go to them first, it'll give me a chance to see what I have to do. They're putting fenders out on their starboard side. If that's a preferential side for them, then I shall do the same on my boat now. Says doing it later. Panicking at the last minute, so I'm going to fender up. I don't know how. Also, I'm going to time how long it takes, because apparently they sit and there's an awful lot of paperwork to do. They sit there and they do it in Spanish, obviously, and ask me questions. The good thing about this whole procedure is, I mean, I have a local telephone. That was the first thing I did, was get myself a local number so I can make the calls. So I'm doing it. I've decided to do it myself. I did have an agent, that didn't work out. For various reasons, so I'm doing it myself. So it's all a bit nerve-wracking. I'm not good at this sort of thing. I can sail boats, when it comes to paperwork and officialdom, no sir. And there's a lot of that in this country, believe me. Just came on deck to find these guys right on my bow. Something going on with the catamaran behind there. They were super close. Holy crap, I've no idea what that was about. I was down below making a cup of tea and I heard them. I don't really need scares like that at this point of the adventure. That was just so close. I was down below and heard this. I came up and the guy was right on my bow with the catamaran tied alongside him. I don't know what was happening. But they didn't hit me anyway. Whatever the guy did there, he pushed him off just in time. I'm always sort of starting some of these episodes, or half an episode into an episode, with a coffee and saying, well, it's a nice morning. Well, last night I had half a bottle of wine left. I put a glass on the chart tables I normally do, away from everything, and one of the ships must have come down the channel here, and Shadi leaped about and the glass tipped and went all over a computer. Not my Apple, but an old Windows one which I use for navigation, so that's not good, and I can't get it to work this morning. The next thing, and so that's out here drying in the sun. I've got it over here, and the next thing is my neighbour's. He's over there drifting now. His engine won't start, so I'm going to have to tow him. So I'm going to have to do another rescue thing today. My lifeboating days just won't leave me alone. This will be the second tow I've done in about a week. But okay, so they're drifting at the moment, so I can't really hang about. They pulled up their anchor and their engine stopped again. It's going to take me 40. I told them, take me 40 minutes to get ready. I've got 45 meters of chain to pull up by hand. and I'm having my first cup of coffee, so alright, I better get to it.
With all the paperwork almost completed, it was time for my ad measure. I had guys come aboard and they were going to measure the boat and inspect it. Everything, including the toilet, had to be looked at and ticked off before I would be allowed to go through the canal. After an hour, everything was done. I got to say, they were very professional, and the gentleman that came on board was brilliant. Asked me all the questions, I signed the paperwork, and then I could leave. It was a big relief to get out of the flats. The anchorage there was really rough and unpleasant. So it was a pleasure to come into the famous Shelter Bay Marina. I'd got friends there, there were facilities I could stop the boat, take a rest, and hopefully get a cold beer from somewhere.
Finally in at Shelter Bay Marina. What a relief. Get off that horrible anchorage. And now I can get things done. There was no way of getting ashore from that anchorage, but there is from here. Super expensive place. I don't want to be here too long, but one of the local one of the boats that are in here, a guy called Ricardo, gave me a beer because I hadn't got any beer for my anchor beer. So I get my traditional anchor beer after all.
I was lucky once again to have a friend of mine, this time John, who had arrived ahead of me and was able to show me the ropes. We got on a bus to go to town because I needed food, and that gave us an opportunity to cross the canal itself. The road that the bus used crossed over the canal and gave us a grand tour. I sat there in amazement, just filming out of the window, looking at this thing that I'd heard of since I was a kid. And here I was, actually crossing over on a bridge the Panama Canal in Central America. Next time on Adventures of an Old Sea Dog.
There's a guy down here who's got a problem like I've never seen before. This is all a headache. This is all extra on top of making sure the boat and everything else is correct. I've still got to rent lines and fenders and get myself a crew sorted out. Because you need 4 people, and there's a supervisor that comes on board the boat which needs to be fed. All money.
With the boat now safely tied up at Colon in Panama, it was time to plan for the next part of the adventure. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. I've enjoyed making it for you. As always, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to tune in next time. Many thanks to you. Many thanks to my patrons for their amazing support. If you'd like to become a patron or help out on the channel, check out my patron page for live updates. I'm on Facebook, Adventures of an Old Sea Dog. Until next time, take care, safe sailing, love you lots, bye.
And don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you all.
Don't really need scares like that at this time of the I don't really need scares like that at this point of the adventure. Pretty amazing place. It's huge.